Alright guys, so my thoughts have changed on some characters, and I thought it would be a good idea for me to do another tier list to talk about what's different, right? So, going right into it, starting off with the supportive units, Metis. Metis is like, pretty solidly in the solid, like, wait, no, oh my gosh, these names are so memey. I probably should change them, but I'm not going to. Anyway, Metis is good. Its healing is super useful to have on your team. Ultimate's super powerful. Its damage is solid. The ability to self peel is excellent. It's definitely in pretty high in the solid, like a metapod using Harden kind of area, right? Really good. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's all I gotta say about that character. It's really good. It's quite solid, like a metapod using Harden. So moving on, Unicorn. Unicorn Gundam is also really good. Super powerful ultimate, amazing healing. Honestly, maybe it's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna bump these bad boys up. I'll put Medicine like really high, solid, like a metapod using Harden, and Unicorn up in like mid hot dang, right? But it has a really good ultimate. It has super good armor that you can pop twice per fight. Even the little funnel shield can punch through people. It has a big hitbox though, so it's kind of vulnerable and low HP, but you don't really have, you have to just kind of avoid that situation and you can get a huge amount of value from the character. So, moving on from that, Jim before was in like a higher ladder or higher rating, and I'm kind of gonna drop it down. I'm gonna drop it down into like low solid, high tier solid, like a metapod not using Harden, just because particularly it doesn't do as well against flankers as it should. If Mr. Exia pops up, which is like in every game, and just wants to kill you, he can. Just punches into you, bullies you. Like, this character is kind of supposed to be able to defend against that. Like, if you could just bash him and like defend, it would be fine, but that doesn't really work like that. You will lose. Just, you aren't going to be getting nearly as much value as like you should get out of the character, and that's why that's like my frustrations with it, is just because of the fact that it isn't as good as it should be. It can't peel itself. If the Exia ults, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You just die. Because of the fact that you only have one dash, you'll just get chased down by things and killed. You get chased down by melee Zaku a lot. These things that can pierce through your shield, Barbatos, Mark 78, they'll just kill you. So the fact that they can just do it is kind of silly. Like, there is a lot of value this character should have, but it's kind of, yeah, like kind of soft, like a metapod not using Harden. Just because of the fact that it's not it's just got too many counters essentially. Alright, then with these supportive units, we're gonna talk about Ashimar. Ashimar before, I think I had like high B tier. I'm putting it into like the top tier, to be honest. The napalm's oppressive. Being able to fly up and toss it down is oppressive. It can do some decent damage at range with its right click. Its damage is solid, but really its ultimate's just busted. Like, I underestimated it. I think they buffed it. Just the hitbox is just intense. Like, you're just sitting there chilling, and all of a sudden you're pressing the button, and all of a sudden you're getting punched by an Ashimar in the face. So whether he's burning you from range or just rolling you with his damage, that's what he does for like 2 fights. And especially if he's farming consistently, then Ashimar will be sitting there with his ult and just punches you in the face whenever it wants you to die. Whatever. And you can just fully counter a tank with that. Like, every few fights, you get an easy clap, 100% I just stop your tank from existing button, which is broken, like a lot broken. Yeah, moving on from this. Sazabi. Wait, why did I have Ashimar? Yeah, alright, we'll do the DPS. Sorry, guys. Gym Sniper is still excellent. It's obviously very map dependent, but when you're like playing on a really good map, it's 1v 100,000, right? When you're playing against on a smaller map, it's just not as good. And it does also depend on what rank you're at and how good your aim is, but you fire very quickly. You have one shots on like everything essentially. You can use your Vulcan pod while you're attacking. You have a ranged res, so it's definitely in the hot dang, they good category. If you're at the top of the ladder, it's like pinnacle. Barbie's Toes. Barbie's Toes is pretty darn good, to be honest. Like, if you're like lower tier and you're not that good at the game, it's definitely like here, right? Because of aiming is difficult and stuff like that. But if you're really good, you just counter anything you want to counter. Which is why it's getting put in like like hot dang they good category. If it's in the right hands, to be honest. Like, I think there's a mentality that Barbatos is bad and that it's a noob stomper, and it is a noob stomper, but it's also a fundamental I deny your tank from existing character. And that's extremely powerful. And people don't understand how powerful that is. Not having a main tank is throwing in a game like this. Having a character that could just kill your main tank is busted. Like, honestly, if I was scrimming in like a 6v6 environment at a high rank, I would very likely consider not having a Sazabi, and I would just consider playing Dom Trooper, or sorry, Barbatos. Because, or, you know, really, you know, it probably work like just playing Melee Zaku, even though Melee Zaku isn't that great. Actually, really, you wouldn't play any of them. I don't know. Like, you would want to play the Sazabi to start off, because it's the most consistent main tank. But then it's like, oh, well, this guy counters it. Oh, well, Xe counters it. Oh, well, RX counters it. Oh, well, Turning counters it. This guy just, yeah, it dies super easily to being focused. And then it's like, okay, well, you know, let's play Barbatos instead, because it doesn't have those issues, and yet it can focus and be an enemy Sazabi player super easily. It's like, okay, well, you know, let's play this to counter the Barbatos. But then it's like, well, this just gets rolled by just focus fire. So probably still in the Barbatos. I don't know. It's weird. The tanks need to have more capabilities. So moving on from this, Guntank is getting into the 1B gun tickle category. You guys, I thought I had you for a second there. You thought you had me for a second there, sorry. You didn't. It's in the gun tickle category. Maybe I should rename this to like poop or something. It's so bad, guys. I'm sorry. It's terrible. It's terrible. And you know, I know you guys are priming up your little keyboards with the "but I got MVP" thing. Well, that doesn't matter. Of course, you can have a pop-off game on any situation. This character does less damage against groups of other characters. It has a worse revive. It has a ultimate that's worse than like a lot, like, or worse than this guy's ultimate, worse than this guy's ultimate, worse than Marasai's ultimate, worse than Ternay's ultimate, worse than no RX-17 matter. Worse than Pale Riders, worse than Exia's, worse than Ashimar's, worse than equivalent to unicorns. Worse than, well, actually Barbatos is bug right now. So yeah, it's just garbage, guys. I'm sorry. It just doesn't have a strength. Characters have to have strengths, because that's what you do. You play towards your strength, and you play against your weaknesses, and they can't do that. My hero is I'm reporting you. Get off the character, bro. I'm sorry to tell you this. It's really bad. It is a projectile. It is a garbage projectile in a hit scan world. Like, yeah, there's actually some cool like animation cancels you can do, but you can't even one-shot a 1000 HP target with 3 of these. Hard animation lock ability. Like, maybe playing it on defense of Harbor or defense of Black Fort is pretty decent. Like, it's like acceptable. Might be like, you know, solid like a Metapod not using hardened kind of thing. But yeah. Also, side note for Jim. Jim does get a little bit more buffed when like you playing in certain situations. Like in Black Fort, it's really good. Defensive situations, holding space already works. Not gonna get dope. It's pretty good already. But again, it still just gets rolled and it doesn't able to do what it should be able to do. Yeah. So don't play this on my games. I'm reporting you. Hell Rider, 1v1 million, 1v 100,000. It's just insane. The ultimate's appalling. Damage is excellent. The healing is kind of one of the strongest healing abilities in the game for some reason, because it's a DS character. That makes sense to me. Like I said, its ultimate is absolutely insane. The grenade's solid. The slow grenade has actually got a decent buff. So 1v1 million, 1v 10 billion, whatever zillion. Exia is the best character in the game right now. This does everything. I don't know what to tell you guys. Every movement, more movement than anything in this game. Can punch through shields. Versus Jim, Sazabi. Its ultimate makes that even more appalling. It can just easy clap, like kill anything in the game. Even with the shield. Punch through Sazabi, bully Sazabi. It has like the best range poke in the game. That's not Jim Sniper. How does that make any sense? This guy's, you know, throwing little Genji shurikens, like, and they're doing 115 damage each from any range. Every other character in the game that's a hit scan has like a weird fall off. They like hit a certain range and it like instantly falls off to half. And it's all like the same short, like same like medium range. It's really weird. Like RX-78, Pale Rider, Ashimar, all have the same exact fall off. Marasai. all the same. Really weird. But Homeboy doesn't. And so he can just toss daggers at anybody he sees and finish kills, and it's insane. RX-70 Gundam is also in super high hot dang, they good. Just busted. Super high damage. Basically more tankiness than one of these tanks in a lot of situations. A hyper hammer ability that just perma counters shield units, especially Sazabi. That has like the easiest hitbox to hit in the whole game. An ultimate that people still just run into and die. It's good for zoning. It's not really just good in general because it's like you can break it, but it gets way more value than it should, right? For a Gundam, I had him at pretty crap tier, like stop trolling my games kind of stuff, but I think we're putting him as solid like a Metapod, if I'm being honest with you guys. Just with the way the game's designed, where like there's so much like exploitability of like having ults burst in, like on demolition maps and on point capture maps. It's not like a payload map where you have to have consistency as much. You can just farm your ultimate, pop it, and it's like arguably one of the best ultimates in the whole game. Just insane. Don't know what to tell you guys. Like literally just flying around, flying to a group. Any squishy there is dead if they can't instantly dash away. Your tanks are going to dash away, not 300 HP. So they need to take away his... And the ability to like grapple and counter like melee Zaku and Barbatos and stuff like that is pretty good. But they need to take away health from his ultimate, or damage from his ultimate, and put it into his primary fire. Like give him 600 damage to the headshot with a primary fire. Nerf his ult to the ground. It's just insane. Zaku melee is also in a 1v 10,000, 100 billion thing. It's just insane. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's just insane. Insane damage, like better than Tracer in Overwatch, with just like, I know people say it needs more shots and stuff like that, but if you have aim, you can aim and you can get like decently close to somebody, you just win. But let's not forget the fact that it has like 3 dashes, a free get out of jail free card, a grenade that pushes people around and displaces them, which is really useful. But most importantly, it has an easily farmable ultimate that's a free kill on anything you look at. Homeboy's got a Tracer pulse bomb that you don't have to aim. Like, it's literally like you gave Tracer a pulse bomb the size of a car. And you're just like, oh, here you go. And it reaches out and seeks onto someone and grabs them and blows them up. And then it's like, cheers, love, the cavalry's here. And you're like, what am I dealing with? That's what this is. You don't even want to know how many times I'm sitting there on Sazabi and I just get punched in the face by Zaku, by Ashimar. It's just stupid. And like, this isn't even me being biased or anything. It's just like, every time you get your ult, like you have a really solid neutral game, but every time you get your ult, it's a free win on anything you look at. You can even kill multiple people with it. Just insane. And it's an instant dash. It reloads too. So it's not even like Tracer. Like with Tracer, let's just say you like stuck like you're brawling against a Reinhardt, and you blink behind him, or you're like shooting him, and he takes a little bit of damage, and his Ana starts healing him. Then you like blink behind him, throw a pulse bomb into his back, but you need to reload still. He's gonna have like 100 HP left or whatever. It's different now, but you know, before he'd have like 100 HP left, and he's gonna be getting like, you know, 100, like it's close to 200 by the time like the Tracer is able to attack again, because she has to reload. So, you can survive. With this character, it instant reloads too. So anything you attack, 0 HP. So like full full frag with your attack, your primary fire, and then straight into ult, and then full farm again, frag again. Same. Sazabi had like pretty, like I think it was like solid like a Metapod using Harden, but it's pretty bad. It's garbage. Sazabi is the true pup swamper of the game, to be honest with you guys. I know that sounds weird. I know people are like, "Gun, you're stupid, bro. You don't understand how this works. You're dumb, bro." No, I play this character a lot. I played tanks in Overwatch for 3.5 years. I've been very high level in a game that's a lot more difficult than this one, and is way more like matured than this game is. And Homeboy's trash. You need main tanks in every game, but yeah, this guy's trash. You arguably don't play it in this game right now, at the moment, because in any sort of coordinated environment at all, they just shoot you. Literally, like a Pale Rider and a meta shooting you will burn your shield in a heartbeat. So yeah, you can dash in and engage, but then like if you dash into them to close the distance, if they have any sort of stuns, these guys, they get a free kill on you. If you walk up, they can also burn your shield really quick. It's only 1400. He puts out what, like what's the damage number? 60? I think it's 60 per shot. No, not him. Him. There's a 60 per shot and he has 24 rounds. That means he's looking at 1440 damage. If he fires a full clip into your shield, it's dead. You know? And you are then you only have like 50% more HP, but your hitbox is also like three times the size of some of these other characters. This character needs it. Like, well, first off, they just need to change the way shields interact with stuns, and really don't let these guys shoot their shields. Don't let these guys stun them. So then it's a neutral fight between all these, between the no stuns, the stuns, and then the shields. I'll be bound. But when you're playing against people who aren't as good, you can actually kind of tank and push things and hold space that they wouldn't let you otherwise, because they don't focus you as much. Because like, oh, it's a shield, we can't shoot it. You know, you shoot the Sosby shield, like literally, like imagine like a team of like, I don't know. Let's just pick these four. The current bottom 4 people I have, let's say only 4 people are shooting. He does 170 damage per shot, I think it is. 600, 300, 300, and then this guy does like 100 damage per second. So we shoot for like a second. That's what, like 400 damage, 100, plus additional 170. That's 1170 damage. 1170 damage. If you just shoot a Sosby for like a second, bro, their shield is instant dead. And you can't like save your shield too, because if you put your shield down, you take damage on your body, which is like nigh unrecoverable. Bob Stomper. Yep. So, Dom Trooper. Moving on. Dom Trooper's good. Really powerful ultimate. Good AoE damage. The mines are unique. The armor gun's not as useful as it used to be, but because it got nerfed from 500 to 300, but you can pop it on like some of these bad boys and give them a little extra life. Granted, Unicorn's just doing the whole thing, but you can get some pretty decent value out of it. But really, just his ultimate's really strong, like amazingly strong. It's just busted. Although there is a way to counter it, which I'm gonna do a little video about. If you jump and you hold space, it'll like get you to hover. You get knocked up in the air, you can then hover and then avoid it basically. But anyway, it drops like it knocks away shields of these guys because, you know, every stun basically does. Because, you know, balanced, right? Actually, the majority of the stuns make you drop your shield. His stun makes you drop your shield. Mace makes you drop your shield. This guy's stun makes you drop your shield. I guess, like, you know, some of the other ults don't. So maybe not the majority, but too much, right? All right, now to Zaku Melee. So Zaku Melee, I had it in pretty low rating. I had it like stop showing my games rating. And I haven't changed my opinion so much, but I'm gonna put it up into the solid, like a Metapod level, for a very specific reason. This character is not good in a standard situation. It has the same problem as Sosby. If you just shoot it in the face, it dies. It goes away. And it's tickle damaging you. It's literally like throwing these like 85 damage. It's like, 85 damage. It doesn't, nothing. It takes like literally 13 shots to kill you. Right? If you just push it and you blow it up or don't let it farm on you like that, while it's doing that, it'll die. You can't play this character against a coordinated team. You could maybe sneak him on in like a defensive situation with like playing with another tank, right? As like an off tank kind of character. And get away with it, but yeah, it's just not, it's way more weak than people think it is. Essentially, even when it rages, it only gets like 500 armor. Not really that much, granted. Its hitbox is a little bit hard to hit, but it's really not that much, right? However, what makes this character strong is its ultimate. Its ultimate is Obscene. And the fact that people don't punish it well. When it gets rage, it becomes like essentially a standard character that can start actually doing stuff. And it can do pretty decent amount of damage to things like Sosby, chase down gems, stuff like that. Punch through Arc 78 shield. But really all its true strength and the reason you pick it is its ultimate. Like the only time I play this character is when I'm playing defense on maps that have really like consistent choke points that people walk through, like Flak Fort, where I can throw my Fire Strike ability and hit like 3 to 4 people each time and just farm at my ult like every fight. Or on Flak Fort defense. I do sometimes use it if it's like the second round and we get 50% ult charge to start with, and I know that I can just deadlift the game by using its ultimate. That's why it's getting a little bit higher, but it's not like, it's not so just solidly amazing like people think it is. To be completely honest with you guys, it's just that it's ultimate and it's imbalanced, like I made in my last video. Marasai is actually pretty solid. The changes to its hook are quite an improvement. If you're combining some standard combos with it, like some of these dash combos, I think it's good now. I don't think it's so insane or anything. I think it's just frustrating to play against. I don't think it's better than Pale Rider. I don't think it's better than RX-78 Gundam. I think it's quite good. It's a lot of fun. But even sometimes now when you hook someone, you'll end up getting burned down. There's like a lot of wonkiness with the way his hook works. Like I made a Marasai tech video and there's some crazy things you can do with the tech, which are really, really, really cool. But I don't think it's super, super crazy. I think it's solid. So yeah, guys. Apparently no one's trolling my games. I guess there is a pretty like healthy gap between these two. And we'll just rename this gap. And by the way, guys, this video is sponsored by... Okay, no, I'm just kidding. By Gap. That'd be kind of cool, though. Okay, I'm losing it. All right, that's the end of the video, guys. Have fun. If you're looking for some more Gundam Evolution videos, then make sure to check out my mobile suit guides. I made one for all original to 14 mobile suits, and I did a Should You Main Guide series also, covering the same mobile suits and talking about whether you should actually main them in Gundam Evolution or not.